Welcome to the Deep Dive. We cut through the noise to get you those critical insights. Today we're looking at a pretty intense hypothetical based on a detailed report. Imagine South Korea. President Yoon Yoon declares martial law, and at the same time, the leading opposition candidate, Lee Jae-myung, is assassinated. It's heavy stuff. The report we're using really digs into the potential fallout, political, social, economic, international. It looks back at history, too, like past martial law events and assassinations in Korea. So our goal here is to pull out the key takeaways for you, to understand how things could unravel when, well, democratic foundations get shaken this badly. Okay, let's unpack this. First up, the martial law itself. The report says, okay, the Constitution has Article 77 for this, but history, that's a different story. How has this legal tool been sort of twisted in the past?
Right. What's really striking is how that legal framework, Article 77, while technically there, has been weaponized. If you look back, 1964 student protests, the Yushin era and 72, the 1980 coup, it's a pattern. They used decrees to bypass the National Assembly, just paralyze democratic checks almost overnight. It's like a playbook, really, for grabbing power legally, or sort of legally.
Wow. And not just shutting down the government checks, but information, too. The report talks about media control, bans on fake news. I mean, how effective is that clampdown today compared to, say, 1980? Does it just push dissent underground or online?
Well, it's a disturbingly consistent tactic. All media gets put under military control. Immediately. They ban anything labeled fake news or false incitement. We saw this with past media massacres, shutting down outlets. Or think about the Gwangju uprising in 1980. The official media painted citizens as, like, rioters or impure elements, dehumanizing language, And that control goes beyond media. Basic rights assembly, protest, even just moving around freely are severely limited. Unwarranted arrests become common. The goal is to totally paralyze resistance, cut off its oxygen, even in our connected world.
Okay, then there's this other layer, the assassination of the opposition candidate. This is where it gets really interesting and, frankly, quite dark. How does taking out a candidate, not a sitting president, specifically help a regime like this?
That's a really key point. It's not about constitutional succession because he's a candidate. Instead, it's strategic. It eliminates the biggest political threat, the main rival. It helps consolidate power for the martial law leaders and probably serves as a justification, however false, for even tighter control. The source even mentions preparing collection lists, basically, political purge lists. So it suggests a wider plan to remove anyone who might oppose them.
So you've got the internal crackdown martial law, media gagged, main rival gone. But this kind of internal chaos must send shockwaves outwards, right? What about the economy?
Oh, absolutely. You'd see immediate, severe instability in the financial markets. We're talking the $1 exchange rate spiking, stocks plunging, foreign money pulling out fast, capital flight. And this wouldn't just be a temporary dip. It could seriously damage South Korea's reputation as a stable place to invest, maybe leading to a long investment winter. You'd likely see credit rating downgrades, too. We've seen similar things, like in Myanmar or Thailand, where political turmoil caused major economic contraction and scared off foreign investment.
And internationally. Beyond the money, how would the world react diplomatically, especially allies?
Well, connecting this to the bigger picture, you'd expect immediate, strong condemnation from democratic nations. Diplomatic isolation. There's a real possibility of sanctions, maybe Magnitsky Act-style sanctions, targeting the individuals responsible for human rights abuses, and definitely broader economic pressure hitting trade. Critically, it would put an enormous strain on alliances like the one with the U.S. It could even break it. That kind of breakdown could shift the whole geopolitical balance in Northeast Asia, potentially empowering authoritarian states like China or Russia. It basically redraws the map.
So bringing it all together,
yeah.
What's the long-term damage to the country itself? Beyond the initial shock, what does this really mean for South Korea in this hypothetical?
I mean, the report suggests this wouldn't just be a temporary crisis. It points towards potentially an irreversible shift to authoritarianism. We're talking about dismantling democratic institutions, permanently changing election rules, dissolving parties, reshaping parliament to lock in authoritarian control. And then there's the human cost. It would leave this deep martial law trauma, fostering mistrust and division in society that could last for generations. It fundamentally changes the country's character.
It's a stark picture. Looking at all this, what stands out to you, the listener, about maybe the fragility of democracy and how things like information control and economic health are just so tied up with political freedom? Something to think about.